One of the deepest truths in computer security, a truth that most people never grasp because the complexity is too overwhelming. If you don't control the hardware and the software at every level, you can never guarantee security. That isn't paranoia, it's just how modern computing systems are built. No individual human being is capable of designing, verifying, and building an entire hardware and software stack by themselves. The cognitive load is far beyond human limits. What most people call security is really just a layer of convenience and hope sitting on top of an incomprehensible tower of opaque machinery. Consumer systems rely on closed-source firmware, hidden microcode inside CPUs, drivers written by unknown parties, and enormous operating systems with millions of lines of code. Even the chips themselves are built in massive foreign fabrication plants with supply chains no one person can monitor. At every level, from the silicon to the browser, there are components that no human can fully audit or understand. This means you always trust something you cannot verify, even if you think you're being careful. If someone truly wanted real security at the level of resisting state actors or highly capable adversaries, they would need complete vertical control. That means designing the CPU, manufacturing it, verifying the transistor layout, building the motherboard, writing the BIOS, writing the bootloader, writing the operating system, writing the compiler, writing the standard libraries, writing the networking stack, designing the router hardware, implementing encryption from scratch, and maintaining the update system personally. It requires simultaneously being a hardware engineer, a chip architect, a compiler writer, a kernel developer, a cryptographer, and a specialist in power electronics and radio engineering. No human has the skill, time, or lifespan to do all that alone. Even nations with massive engineering resources struggle. China has sovereign fabs, state funding, and enormous teams, yet they still cannot fully guarantee microcode integrity, firmware security, or supply chain purity. The stack is so complex that even a nation-state can't fully control it. Expecting an individual to achieve this is simply impossible. Even open-source software cannot solve the problem. Linux is open source, but it contains tens of millions of lines of code built over decades by thousands of people. The compilers, libraries, drivers, graphic systems, and network layers add even more complexity. No single human can audit that. A backdoor of a few lines could hide in plain sight and go unnoticed for years. Open does not mean auditable by one brain. The worst part is the supply chain. If the hardware or firmware is compromised before the operating system even loads, then nothing you do at the software level matters. Encryption becomes meaningless. Antivirus becomes meaningless. VPNs, firewalls, permissions, all of it collapses the moment the silicon itself is untrustworthy. Unless you personally built the chips, inspected the masks, and verified the fabrication process, you cannot know that nothing was inserted into the microcode or circuitry. But no individual can do that. There is also a deeper structural problem. The verification burden itself is too large for human cognition. To truly guarantee security across the entire stack, you would have to verify billions of transistors, millions of lines of code, thousands of protocols, and countless interactions. Human brains are not built for that scale. Perfect security requires non-human levels of consistency, memory, pattern recognition, and reasoning. Only a machine with superhuman intelligence and massive cognitive throughput could actually audit or even understand the entire stack end-to-end. Complete security is impossible for an individual human. True security requires total control over hardware, software, and manufacturing. Total control requires cognitive and organizational capacities far beyond what any single person has. In a very real sense, perfect security is something humans cannot achieve without assistance from machines far smarter and faster than themselves.